code on your phone. If you just scan this QR code on your phone or go to menti.com and put in this code, this will be so that you can put in questions and I can answer them later on. And yeah, I just got a message saying, is this just for dentistry? Yes, this is for dentistry. So I'll just give you guys a minute just to scan that code there. Okay, and once you've done so, if you just put up a thumbs up so I can see that you've done it. Okay, lovely. So my name is Hafsa. I study at Manchester University. I'm in my 4th year now, going into my 5th year. And I'm just going to be telling you a little bit about how I got into dentistry and my experience. So to begin with, in high school, I actually wanted to become a teacher. I thought it was really cool. You get lots of holidays, and I had quite a passion to be a mentor for my younger years as well. So that's what I wanted to be initially. After that, when I got into college, so first I did my GCSEs, and then all my teachers on results day, they were like, oh, you got really good GCSE results. Like, you should push yourself. I think you should like look into doing something a bit more better. And I was like, okay. So then when I got into college, I chose something more like scientific related. So I chose biology, chemistry, and maths. So those are my key interests at the time. That meant that I had quite a huge like scope of what I wanted to get into. When I did get into college, I joined the Medicine, Dentistry, Veterinary Society, and I found all the like talks really, really interesting, and I learned a little bit more about each of them. So first I was a little bit confused between medicine, dentistry, as I'm sure a lot of you would have been as well. Then after that, I decided to do some work experience to find out whether this is actually what I wanted to do. So I did some work experience at a dental practice that was about 20 minutes away from my house. And that actually solidified that, yeah, this is what I want to do. I had a little bit of experience at a GP as well, like 3 days work experience. I had a longer work experience at the dental practice. Oh, the screen has just changed. There we go. Okay, so I had a longer work experience at the dental practice. So I had 2 weeks work experience there, and I learned a lot from there. I went to different of the surgeries. There's about like 7 different surgeries at that dental practice. So each day I was looking at like different dentists and how they were like talking to the patients and stuff. After that, I also did a few volunteering activities as well. So after I did biology, chemistry, and maths, I got 3 A's in that. With regards to my volunteering work experience, I did 6 months at a care home. I did 4 months at a primary school. And I did some weekend, I did it with a charity called Court. So it's a Kashmir orphan organization, raising money for orphans. So I helped like with bake sales and stuff like that. So that was all the volunteering aspect. And with regards to the actual work experience, it was just 2 weeks. At the time, there was like a limit, like it was like you have to do at least 2 weeks. So everyone was trying to do that. But post-COVID, that has been like reduced. So it's like, oh, if you just do some work experience, that's fine. So I know people that even do like maybe 5 days or 3 days, but as long as you've got some work experience, that's a good thing. You should try to do as much as you can, but post-COVID, it is quite hard to get that experience. So any experience is good. Once I got into dentistry, the first year we had COVID, so I didn't have much of a first year. After that, in year 2, I decided to become student ambassador. In year 3, I decided to become secretary for the Dental Society. And now in year 4, I'm targeting and research officer. So I just basically help promote dental hygiene, etc., in primary schools and things like that. So that's currently my dental journey. Just got a message in the chat. So how did you apply for work experience? Okay, that's a really good question. So with regards to work experience, I made a CV. So I wrote down what my GCSE grades were, what I'm looking for to get out of work experience and what my targets are. For example, I'm looking at, doing dentistry at university. I want to gain these skills. So I made a whole CV and I printed 15 copies of them. Then I made a list of all the dental practices near me. So from the 15, only 3 of them were like, yeah, we'll see whether we can give you work experience. One of them were like, oh, we can give you 1 day work experience. And then they emailed me later saying, no, we can't give you that either. And then another dental practice, they were like, sorry, we've got too many people asking for work experience right now. We can't give it you. And I was like, okay. And then the last one, he was a really nice man. I walked into the dental practice and I went to the reception and I gave my CV. And then he was like, the dentist, he came to the desk and he was like, I think he didn't have a patient or something, but he came to the desk and he was like, oh, what have you come here for? Then I gave my CV. He was like, have you come for a job? And I was like, no, not a job. I've come because I want work experience. And then he was like, oh, okay. Then he took me to his surgery. He didn't have a patient, so I just went and sat there. And he started asking me about what I want to do or why I want to do dentistry, etc. So I was like, yeah, it's something that I'm considering. And he was like, okay, that's really good. And then he offered me 2 weeks work experience. So that all worked out for me. Let me see another question. What kind of transferable skills from dentistry did you take away from working at primary school? That's a very good question. So as a dentist, you're talking to people from huge, different ranges, right? Completely ready. So I'm sure that your colleges would have a deadline before that as well. After that, BMAT is in November. So you have UCAT in summer, BMAT in November. I just want to point out that Leeds was a BMAT university, but it has moved to UCAT. Mid-October, we have the UCAS deadline. You need to make sure that everything is complete. Then November to April, we have interviews. So a lot of the interviews do start off in December. If you haven't received your interview offer by January, don't worry because they're still beginning them out. I know that I got my Manchester one in December and my friend got it end of January, beginning of February. So it's nothing to worry about. And then your A-levels. Guys, with regards to your A-levels, please put in your maximum effort. It's going to be worth it in the end, trust me. Don't think, oh, I don't want to be studying all the time. If you want to do dentistry, you got to be studying. Don't worry about it. You need to do it. Okay, next, what do we have? Okay, so some of you may have already done your UCAT, some of you may be looking to do it, but there's 5 sections. So there's abstract, verbal, quantitative reasoning, decision making, and the SJT. So the SJT is in bands, and the other 4 sections are out of 900. It's 2 whole hours, and unless you've got any reasons or any sort of certificate or something, I don't think you can take any break as well. It's on a computer, it's online. The results are recorded in deciles, and you get your results straight away. And its competitive scores are 2,600 and above. Like I told you, mine was just a bit over 2,600. So even if you get that, that's a good thing. Okay, so with regards to UCAT, you want to get used to UCAT test conditions. So when you're doing it online, please put a timer on because so many people, when they're doing UCAT, they run out of time and you don't want to do that. So do it under test conditions, don't get any help, don't do it with your friends, do it by yourself properly, and don't neglect UCAT theory. You do need to revise for it before you actually do the test. That's really important. For example, with SJT, there's actually a lot of practice that you can do. And you want to focus on timing from the beginning because a lot of people struggle on that later on. So which universities required BMAT? So previously Leeds University required BMAT, but this year they switched to UCAT. So that's made the whole process more streamlined, nice and easy. Okay, we've got 20 players in Menti. Okay. Just to make sure, has everyone entered Menti? Does anyone need me to go back for the code? Let me just have a look in the comments. Need to enter still. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go back so you guys can see the code, okay? Oh, the code is at the top. Okay, never mind. If you just quickly enter, it's at the top. Okay, we've got 26 players, 47. Okay, good work experience is most of you have answered now. Got a few more seconds left. Okay, let's see. Okay, in clinical settings, observational, these got the highest votes. So yeah, it is a lot of observation. So you will just be watching the dentist doing what he's doing or she's doing. Practical, none of you said that, but it's a very small element. For example, the only practical thing that I really had was when I was standing on the side in the surgery and the dentist said, oh, can you get so-and-so from the waiting room? And another time I had to talk to a patient in the waiting room who's a little bit nervous. So that's the only practical side that I had. The rest of it is just watching. More than one day, 2 of you people said that. So even if you get one day, that's a really good thing. But of course, the more the merrier. 6 of you said in more than one place. So again, the more places that you get is a good thing. Me, I only had it in one place and that still did the job. And in more than one role. Not entirely, no. Your role should just be observing. And for example, like you could be observing a dentist or a dental therapist. The more roles in one practice, that could possibly be better. There are some dentists that have orthodontists in the practice as well. So if you could like even watch them, that would be a really valuable experience for you. Okay, what word would you use to describe a good personal statement? However, if a lot of people are applying with really good GCSE results, then that will be your competition. So it depends on other people as well. But every university is different. Each university looks at different stuff. Would uni regard A-level predicted grades higher than requirements more favorable? Personally, my predicted were
Would regard A-level predicted higher than requirements?
Personally, my predicted grades were 2 A star and 1 A. And I know a lot of people that like did apply into dentistry in my year were like predicted A stars and stuff. So it could have an impact. However, they don't only look at that. They consider so many different things because they know that that's only a prediction. So rather than looking at only predictions, they want to look at actual results. Like I have done this work experience, I have done this, I've done this, I've done this. Like seeing the actual results as compared to predictions. So again, that's just something I did have a look at. I have pen pals from Colombia, Mexico. Nice. And I help them with their English. Could that be volunteering? Yes, it is. And that's, you can also talk about your communication and how you had to talk to people from different backgrounds. Yeah, that is volunteering. That's fine. If I also, whenever you talk about work, volunteering, always talk about like a long period of time. Like I did the care home for 6 months. it sounds like so much, even though it's like 2 hours a week. 6 months is a lot. So try to go for like a long span of time. If I start to learn an instrument now, will it count for a good show of manual dexterity? Let me see, what month are we in? So in May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 5 months. And if you start to learn now, you can definitely put in your personal statement, because in 5 months' time, I'm sure you'll be pretty good. Yeah, you can definitely put that, not a problem. I'm doing a dental nursing apprenticeship and I've done A-levels. Does it count as work experience? Work experience is more of an observational thing where you're watching the dentist. However, because you're doing dental nursing, you were like that with the dentist. You were that close. So yes, it would count, because you can basically build this dental nursing apprenticeship and talk about how you're observing the dentist. You had to basically have teamwork with the dentist. So I think that's a really good thing. Is it possible to get a contextual offer for dentistry? I have heard of this before, but again, it depends on the university. So you will have to have a look. If they do it, it will definitely be on the website, because that is something that the university would show off. So you definitely need to look on the website if they do that. Look on entry requirements, and then underneath there should be a section that tells. But again, that's only like, for example, I know people that do MAP. I don't know if you've heard of that before, Manchester Access Program. You can get like a contextual offer. So you can have a look at that too. Is there a book you would recommend for studying for UCAT? Me personally, I did the CAT plan course. It was online. I just did loads of online practice because I felt like that thing was going to be on a computer, so I should be able to do it on a computer. But there are lots of books out there. Let me just quickly check. There was another really, really good one. 1 second. Okay, these two I've heard really good stuff about. So this one is called the Ultimate UCAT Collection. Don't know if you guys can see. This is the Ultimate UCAT Collection. I've heard of that. And then another one that I've heard of is called the 1300 UCAT Practice Questions. Got lots of questions there. But next week, guys, please attend to the webinars. There's going to be so much information on the UCAT, and MedicMind can give you that help that you need. Definitely attend that. Do UCAS points really matter on my application if I get 3 A stars? Should I do EPQ or 4th A level just for UCAS points? Okay, you can do EPQ if you want to, but what matters is that if you get your 3 A stars, that's the main thing. You don't want to jeopardize getting your A stars for another EPQ. So if you think you can take it on, then do it. It just depends on you. If you feel like you can't do something, then definitely don't jeopardize those 3 A stars or those 3 A's, okay? Because it's not really that needed. What extracurricular do you recommend? So, for example, definitely something to do with manual dexterity. So a lot of people were talking about like henna, sports like boxing, you need that hand-eye coordination. I think sport is really good. Reading, all of those, cooking. Loretto, very nice question. I went Loretto too. Okay, any wider reading books that you recommend? So the 2 things I told you guys, the Dental Journal, British Dental Journal, and also the Delivering Better Oral Health. Definitely have a look at them, guys. Did you have to write another personal statement for your 5th option? So I wrote it and I emailed it to that department, yeah. I wrote like an optometry based on, I didn't have a lot to say, maybe that's why I got rejected. Will I be at a disadvantage if I got a 5 in Spanish but still got majority 9s? You need to have a look on the website. A lot of universities are different. Like, for example, one university might say, as long as you've got 6 7s, that's okay, it doesn't matter. Or might say, others might say, oh, you need to get everything above a 7. Like, it depends on the university, so you will have to have a look at that. As long as you fit the entry requirements, don't be shy, apply. Because I applied to 3 universities, and I hit all the entry requirements, but some of them I hit really good, and some of them I was a bit, but I still applied and I got interviews from all 3 of them. What extracurriculars can I do? Already done that. How many years of study until you can officially work as a dentist? That's a good question. So me currently, like I'm in my 4th year. I've got 1 year left, then I've graduated. Then I've got my foundation year. After your foundation year, you are officially a dentist. But during the foundation year, you're doing everything that a dentist does, but you're learning on the job. What are examples of good extracurriculars? What things should I get my teachers to put in their reference compared to my personal statement? So you can't get your teacher to put anything in the reference. They need to do it themselves. It needs to be honest. But as long as they put in that you're hardworking, dedicated, hardworking, dedicated, and anything extra that they can put to make it a little bit more personalized to you, that would be good. I didn't even read the reference that they put for me. I didn't even know that they put a reference until after. So don't tell your teachers what to put in the reference. They will put the actual thing. Like they will put what you are. They won't make anything up. Should I do UCAT in year 12? It depends if you're taking a gap year. Because if you're taking a gap year or something like that, because if you're doing UCAT in year 12, then that means year 11, 12. Oh, yeah. So after year 12, in the summer, you can do UCAT. Yeah, so the summer between year 1 and year 2, okay? What book or online website did you use to prepare for UCAT? Is the UCAT for medicine and dentistry the same? Yes, it'll be kind of similar. So the SJT, the questions could be a little bit different, but it encompasses the same sort of thing. So that's fine. 5 GCSEs at grade 7 to 9, and I need 6 or 7. What do you recommend I do as I'm currently at the end of year 12? Okay, so it depends what GCSEs you had lower than grade 7. So for example, if you had English or maths a little bit lower, you may have to retake them because a lot of the time you could retake them in November. A lot of the time, universities will say that we need English or maths to be a little bit more higher. What grade did you get in your EPQ? I got an A. Does listening to a dental podcast count as a supercurricular? Yeah, it does. As long as you can name the podcast and you can explain what they were talking about, yes, it counts. Do you know anyone that has done access course to dentistry and got into university? Yes, I do, at Manchester as well. Which universities did you get into? So I had 3 interviews, so Sheffield, Manchester, Liverpool, and I got offers from Sheffield and Manchester. Then I chose to go to Manchester. Which uni like EPQ and would lower offers? So I don't know, because I only applied to 3 unis, guys. So I don't know which universities really like EPQ. But a lot of them do. It does push your grade up. Okay. Yeah, we can't answer everyone's questions, guys, so we will have to move on now. If we get a bit more time later on, we will. Okay, so here's some frequently asked questions. So how did you manage timing in the UCAT exam? So in the UCAT exam, I had to, like, there's a specific amount of questions that they have, and you have 2 hours to do them. So make sure that if you find a question hard, don't spend all your time on that. Definitely go on to the next question. How many hours a day should you be studying? I did about 2 to 3 hours. How important is the UCAT score in a dentistry application? It is quite important. That's definitely something that they look at when they're trying to give interviews out. What type of questions were they asking you in your dentistry interview? They asked, there were 2 role plays. Like I said, there was a lot on, for example, do you think dentistry should be privatized? Just gonna skip this because we have answered quite a bit of this as well. Because how can MedicMind help you? So there's a lot of free resources available. So you can check this guide over here. There's also Dentistry University Comparison tool. So you can check what different universities are offering, what sort of things that they're looking at as well, what university you think you want to go to, depending on what features are available. There's also specific things on the UCAT, BMAT, dentistry specific interview guides as well. So definitely have a look at all of that, really important. Okay, and then make sure you take a picture or enter this dentistry group chat over here. So if you just scan that QR code, you can enter the WhatsApp group for free resources and tips. MedicMind always give a lot of free resources, so please join that. It's also in the chat box as well if you find that easier. I also used MedicMind before I got into dentistry, and it helped so much. So please do join. Any other questions before we wrap up? Would 3 A stars or 2 A stars and 2 A's make for a strong application? So of course, 3 A stars is better than 2 A stars and 2 A's. Thank you very much. It was very helpful. Oh, I'm glad that you found it helpful. No problem, guys. Okay, so we're just going to move on to the next one, just on work experience very quickly. So Medic Mind actually offer one-to-one tutoring that is completely personalized and tailored to you. So there's award-winning strategies, proven timing techniques. So I'm one of the tutors as well at Medic Mind, and I help with interviews. And so many of the students that I was helping got an offer from dentistry. So really, really happy. We give a one-to-one approach, and we also do UCAT coaching as well. Definitely have a look at that. Would you honestly say it's worth paying for Medic Mind? Yeah, honestly, I'm a tutor here, and the resources they give to you, and some of them like for free as well. Very, very good resources. They help you get in basically. Regular progress updates and UCAT online materials as well. I'll come back to the WhatsApp link. I just want to go through this very quickly. So we cover all sections of the UCAT as well as BMAT. There's personal statement and university-specific interview tutoring as well. So these are all the things on the UCAT. Please make sure that you do go to the webinars next week. You're going to find them very, very helpful. You don't want to miss out. Here's some of the reviews as well. So great one-to-one dentistry tuition. My daughter used online resources and one-to-one tutoring. She received offers from all 3 unis, applied for Dundee, Glasgow, and Newcastle. Martha is a great asset and helped my daughter considerably. That is lovely. Yeah, so included in any UCAT package is over 20 hours of one-to-one tutoring in our online course, which includes a bank of over 8,000 questions. 8,000 questions, guys. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Even the book that I was telling you guys, that was only 1,300. These are 8,000 questions. So definitely, please have a look at that as well. You want to benefit from it. Our work experience week will help you demonstrate your interest in dentistry. I told you guys about this. If you want a discount on the dentistry work experience, you can use my code. It's Hafsa100. I just put in the chat now. You can use my code to get £100 off on the dentistry work experience. Definitely have a look at that. It's 5 days. There's smaller packages as well. You can get 3 days, 2 days. You have a look, but they're going very, very quickly. You want to get into dentistry, definitely have a look at this. There's a lot of competition out there. And so many of you are saying, oh, I don't know how to get work experience. I don't know how to get work experience. Here we go. Okay, just a few more links over here if you want to have a look. So there's one-to-one tutoring available. There's online resources as well. Some of them, of course, you'll have to pay for, but a lot of them are free. So please have a look, browse. And then work experience, you can have a look. There's the 5-day camp at Central London. Please do have a look at that. And yeah, the WhatsApp link is in the group chat right now. If you just have a look, not in the group chat, in the Zoom chat. Okay, perfect. Best way to revise for A-level chemistry and biology. Okay, the best way to revise is definitely make sure you understand all the content. And then after you understand all of the content, do as many past papers as you can. That's the best advice I can give you. Past papers are the key. No problem, guys.